Hello, hello, hello. Testing 1, 2. Just need to test my stream. Just going to test a few things. No. We'll be going over this paper, the pre-prep for 2025. Just want to make sure everything is on par. Just want to test my sound. Testing 1, 2. The pre-prep for 2025. Testing. Just want to make sure everything is on par. Okay, my voice sounds good. Checking a few other things. Okay, we'll be going over the National Senior Certificate, Boshlo Babela District. It's a paper 1, grade 12, pre-preparatory 2012. Okay, I just need to check a few things before I get started. BRB. I don't even have a BRB screen. That's sad. Okay. Checking a few things. Testing 1, 2. Right. Should be sorted. Okay. Just wait for a few of my students to arrive as well before we get started. Right. Should. Let's just wait for everybody. Send a link. Yeah, I really need a manager. Do, do, do. Mm. Okay. Just checking. Afterwards, I add on my own live. Hi. Humanology. Hello. Okay, I think we can start. We are 7. Just want to pull up my stream. Everything's fine. Okay. So we've got here the pre-prep 2012, 2025, 2012. Yeah. iPhone 16 to be a manager if I get 1 million subscribers maybe. Okay. So Michael is the keen photographer. This is question 1. We normally have an easy question 1 like this. Michael is a keen photographer who wants to start his own photographic business. He looks at purchasing the following camera. This is my first time using these tools, by the way. So we have a few things. We can get on credit with a deposit of 850. Sometimes they will give a percentage, and we will have to calculate the deposit using the percentage. Likewise here, they've given us 306 per month times 42. So we've been told how much is the monthly installments. Sometimes they will ask us to calculate the monthly installments. And we have the interest rate over there. Or we have the cash price, which is 8499 per kit. Okay, it's important that we use our highlighters and we work very carefully through these questions. There are so many easy questions that we just simply get wrong because we're not reading correctly. So the first question here, write down the cash price for this camera. Okay, the cash price I'll highlight it in red over there. The cash price is 8499 for this kit. Okay, that's quite a simple, easy question over there. Right, just want to see if I can get this question over to my note. Right, so we've got the cash price there, we've got our highlighter. That's the first question there. We've got that done and dusted. This is still my first time using some of these tools, so it's a bit dodgy. Oh, look at that. Goodness me. Oh, wait. Yeah. So we've done the cash price, we've got that. Determine the ratio of the deposit amount to the cash price in the form. Oh, by the way, my calculator. I had a calculator app. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Anyways, so we need to determine the ratio of the deposit amount to the cash price in the form 1:2. So the first thing we need to do is get the deposit amount, which is 850. So we've got our 850 over there, right? And the deposit amount in the ratio to the cash price. So we start with the deposit amount and then we do our two dots over there, which is our ratio. And our cash price is 8499. Okay, so the first thing we have to do, we know that this over here is our cash price. Okay, right, so we have the still small. So we know that that's our cash, no, our deposit. And then over here, we have our cash price. Okay, so we need to make sure that we get our deposit in the form 1:2. So we see there, it's saying 1. Okay, if we look back over here, it's talking about the 1:something something. The 1 is the deposit. How can I forget my calculator? I know. I had the app on my on my phone, on my PC, and now the app is not here. Anyways, so we need to have the deposit in the form 1. So whatever the deposit is, we're going to divide both of the sides by that deposit value. So if it was 10, if it was 50, we divide it by that value. So since it's 850, we're going to divide the cash price and the deposit by 850 over there like that. Now we have the ratio 850 divided by 850, which is 1, and 8499 divided by 850. Right, there's no way. My calculator app is not here. So we're gonna have to use this 8499 divided by 850. Right? No, that's not 850. 8499 divided by 850. That gives us 9.99. Okay, we can round that off to 10. So the ratio is 1:10, and that's how 3 marks there. Now 1 mark, we probably get it for dividing both sides, and then our final mark for our ratio. Okay, so we can just get rid of that. Okay. Now we need to determine the total cost. We need to determine the total cost of this camera if we purchase it on hire purchase. So we're now at 1.1.3. I'll just highlight it in yellow. So we're over there. So we need to calculate the total cost of this camera if we purchase it on a hire purchase. So we know that the hire purchase, firstly, it is the deposit amount, and then it is the monthly payments after that. Okay, so if we go back over here, we start off with the deposit, which is 850. That is the initial amount paid before our monthly payments. Then we have our 306 times 42, which is our monthly installments. Okay, it's so small, I don't know why. Every time starting at 11. So we have 306 and we multiply that. Three oh six multiply by 42, and that's equal to, we just have to use this calculator up here. You have 306 multiplied by 42, that's equal to 12,500, 12,852. 12,852. This amount over here is the amount that we are paying. I'll just highlight it there. That amount over there is the amount that we are paying over the monthly installments of 42 months. So the total price that we pay, okay, the total price that we pay for this camera, thank you Zoe, is not just this amount of 12,852, it's also the deposit. Okay, we paid our deposit at the start as well. So then we can create that equation. Okay, let me just insert. Why is it so small? I'm being sabotaged. This is no way. Okay, anyways, I'm just gonna write it down. So it's 850, which is our deposit, and we add it with our monthly payment total of 12,852, and we get a total of, let's check there, it's 850 plus 12,852. Always double check. This is how we make our mistakes. We switch the 5 with the 8 over here. We switch the 2 with the 5. We make mistakes like that. Okay. So hopefully we are on the right track. Oh, not hopefully we are. 13,702. Okay. That is the total amount that you're going to pay if you use the hire purchase option. You can see that. Thank you very much, Zoe, again. We can see that we are paying so much more than the cash price, which is 8,400. Okay, we could also find the interest. Okay, if a possible question could have said find the interest that was paid for this, then we would subtract our final amount that we paid, which is 13,702. We would subtract it from the cash price. That difference would give us the interest. Okay. Identify the type of interest when purchasing on hire purchase. Normally when we purchase on hire purchase, please do taxes from the basics. I completely forgot everything. Hopefully we are going to get to a tax question. which we will. The type of interest normally when purchasing on hire purchase, it is normally simple interest. Okay, we normally have our simple interest. That is the type of interest that we have. Okay, so I can just type there for that one. Simple interest. We never do compound interest for our hire purchase. Okay, I already know some of you would put 17.7% for this answer, and then you lose a silly mark. Not a silly mark, silly 2 marks. Okay, so we can pick up so many easy marks. This mark is 2, 5, 8, 10. 10 marks. Write down the cash price of the camera. Sometimes people would put 850, they would put 306, times it by 42, and then say that's the cash price. Really just misreading the question there. So most of maths lit, and it's the keyword lit inside there, is the literacy of the question. Okay, so make sure we read twice, we breathe in the exam, we remain calm. I know it's very tense in there. It's very tense in the exam venue. There's so much pressure on because you are fighting for your future, but you just need to breathe. Okay, so the cash price there is 2 marks free, we would hope. The ratio, maybe some of you would struggle there with the ratio. Total cost, maybe you'll struggle there. And then this one, again, identify the type of interest. When they say type, it's either simple interest or it's compound interest. We never use compound interest for hire purchase. Okay, and then don't put 17.7% for 1.1.4. You're not going to get those marks. All right. Oh, never mind. Okay. Let us go further down. Hopefully that's 10 marks in the bag that we got. Let's have a look at 1.2. Let me just check if which questions is a taxes question. Where is it? Question 3. There should be a tax question here. There's tariffs. Yeah. Here's 5.2. Annexure B. Here's Annexure B, which is the tax bracket. But we will get there. We will get there. I hope so. Yeah, I really do not miss studying at all. This is a different type of pressure. I do not like. Michael receives 850 as a gift from his uncle for his birthday. Let me highlight that 850. Okay. From his uncle for his birthday, he will use his money to purchase this camera. That's interesting. That's just enough to pay for the deposit. Anyways, his uncle deposits the money into Michael's Discovery Bank account. Below is the transaction fees for Discovery Bank. Now you still have to pay transaction fees and you're getting sent money. Anyways, the cash withdrawal at the local ATM is a fixed cost of 4.5 Rand plus 1.5% of the withdrawal amount. If there's a currency conversion, there's a 2.75% charge. Okay. The first question. Explain the meaning of the words transaction fees in this context. Okay. So transaction, we know that the transaction is between two people or two things. Okay. So we can say, let me just zoom in. Beautiful. If I could squeeze the answer in here. Let me just see if I can type in here. Inshallah. Oh, beautiful. Wait, where did the account go? I don't want to mess up this document and then I can't use it. You see. Oh. Okay, you know what? You know what? Let me exit this thing. Let's go to OneNote. Take this to OneNote. Over here. Why are they? I swear. I am gonna jump off a bridge, honestly. Stupid thing. Why would you paste it so small? So annoying. Sorry about this. Stupid. Sometimes these things I do not understand. Okay, explaining the meaning of the words transaction fees. Let me just insert. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is like my first time using, not my first time, but still early stages of using this thing. Okay. It is a charge. Charge for money coming into your account or going out of your account. Luckily for us, or for you, not for me, because I'm not writing, is that we have normally a relevant answer can be accepted. Okay, but as long as you're speaking in and around this, the charge for money coming in into your account or out of your account. Okay. Is a positive? There is so much positive marking, so much. Like you can get an answer that's completely wrong, and you can get 5 out of 7. Inshallah, canceling for release appropriation. No man, look, I don't know what to say. If I say anything, I'm in trouble. Anyways, calculate in rands the cash withdrawal fee if Michael withdraws 8,500 rand. Inshallah, we withdraw that money. Okay, so we're withdrawing 8,500 rand. Now we know that there's a withdrawal transaction fee. Okay, so firstly we see that there is a fixed cost of 4 rand 50. Okay, fixed cost 4 rand 50, right? Yeah, guys, that's a okay. 4 rand 50 is the fixed cost, and then it has 1.5% of the withdrawal amount. So we need to find 1.5% of the withdrawal amount. We are, again, I can already see people taking the 850 and putting it into the calculations. The withdrawal amount is not 850. 850 got put into my account. Meanwhile, I have lots of money waiting for me, which is 8,500. It is 1.8, sorry, you see, 1.5% of the 8,500 rand. So make sure to get that over there. So we are adding, this is the fixed cost at the start. We are adding the 1.5% of the 8,500 rand, which is what we are withdrawing. Right. So we need to find that. Again, we go to our little friend, Mr. Calculator. Okay. Guys, I had a nice calculator, by the way. There's a Casio that I stole from somewhere online. Ish. Yeah, 4.5 dot. Yeah. So we have 1.5. We can even use this, the percent function. Say 1.5% times 8,500, and we get uh see, I'm a Timu. Why did it change now? Oh, 127.5. Okay, so we have 4.50 plus 127.5. That is allegedly 1.5% of 8,500. You can just double check there. I don't trust this dodgy calculator of mine. So then we have a final answer of, we have 4.5 times 127.5. That would be 132. Just need to double check that. The always double check what you calculate, even if it is the silly additions or subtractions in the exam you are making. Also, as you can see, these calculator errors as well, there's a lot of that happens. That is where the positive marking actually doesn't come. Like you don't get positive marking because you've incorrectly typed into your calculator. You get no marks for that. You actually get marks for typing in the wrong stuff correctly, if you know what I'm saying. Like if I was putting in 4.50 plus 500, I somehow got 500 for my 1.5%. And you do that correct, you get your marks. But if you put this wrong, you don't get any marks. Okay. So yeah, that is 132 over there. So that's 5 marks there. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Easy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just take note of the transaction fee. Now it's 132 because we are continuing here with Michael. Michael feels that his transaction fees are too high. He finds the following graph that compares the fees for withdrawing 500 Rand from various banks in South Africa. Again, let's just highlight 500 Rand. Just because. Okay. So, the withdrawal fees for 500 Rand. Standard Bank. Standard Bank is going to charge us 7 Rand 50. Can we highlight that? No, we can't. Okay. Standard Bank will charge us 7 Rand 50. Capitec will charge us, you can see around about 8 Rand. FNB will charge us 10 Rand. Absa as well, 10 Rand. Nedbank, 11 Rand. And Discovery, Discovery is scammers by the way. Yeah, these guys, they stole my money. But anyways, they charge 12 Rand withdrawal fees for the 500 Rand. Okay. Identify the name of the bank that charges the lowest withdrawal fee. That is quite easily Standard Bank. Okay, we can see that Standard Bank is the lowest withdrawal fee from this bar graph. Okay. The probability of randomly selecting a bank that charges above 10 Rand is 2 out of 6. Write this probability as a percentage. Okay. So in order for us to write any probability as a percentage, we have, for example, the probability. 1 second. We have the probability 2 over 6. Whenever we're converting any fraction to a percentage, we take the fraction and we simply multiply that fraction by 100. That's all. It's that simple. Okay, so we go to our dodgy calculator. 2 divided by 6. Let's do that first. Equals to times 100. So that is 33.33%. Okay, that's our answer. Write down the modal fee. Now we don't know what we are talking about anymore, which is sad. Write down the modal fee for all the banks for withdrawing 500 Rand. Oh, sorry. The modal fee or the word modal simply means the most repeating. Okay, so whatever is repeating the most. So we look at the fee, we can see that Absa and FNB is charging 10 Rand. That is the only fee that's repeating or that's the same. Okay, so there's two banks that has the same withdrawal fee. Okay, no other fee has, or no other bank has the same fee. Okay, so the modal fee for all the banks for withdrawing 500 Rand is indeed 10 Rand. Okay. So we have there. Okay. There we go again. So we have 10 Rand. Anyways. Yeah, the model fee again, like I said, is 10 Rand. Let's go to question 2. MSC Cruises South Africa offers cruise holiday packages that comprise various destinations such as South Africa, the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, the Emirates, and other locations across the globe. During a flash sale on MSC Cruises South Africa's website, Stephen Joy took advantage of the opportunity and booked a cruise. So we have a 3-night cruise, flash sale, 35% discount. Okay. I do not know why. Leave me alone, just leave me alone. 3-night cruise, flash sale, 35% discount, sale price. Okay, listen to this. Only 10,000 Rand, 10,854 Rand per couple balcony cabin. Okay. Okay. So we have the fees per couple. I'm just being disturbed here by foreigners. Okay, we need to calculate the cost per person per night. It's very important to note that this 10,854 Rand is per couple. The question wants to know how much each person is being charged. Okay, so let's take this question. Let us take it to OneNote. Okay. So 10,000 Rand sorry, 10,000 Rand. 10,854 Rand. By the way, you should be able to write that answer in words. Per couple. So it's for 2 people. So the price per person. Okay. The price per person. We need to divide it by 2. Okay. We then get an answer. So we take the 10,000. I wish I could pause the stream and get my calculator back. Yes, so 10,854 divided by 2 is 5,427. So we have 5,427. This is per person, but a very big but. It is not per night. The question wants to know the cost of one person, which we have, but it wants to know it per night. This cost that we have, the Persian, yes, it's a Persian, it's somebody from Asia, is for 3 nights. The question wants to know per one night. So we need to divide now our price for the person by 3. This will tell us the price per, it will tell us the price per night. Okay, so we do that. We find our calculator, 5427. I have to every time come to this stupid thing. 5427 divided by 3, 1809. So that is the final price for one night for one person. Okay. No one's asking questions so far, which assumes everything is going good, but I know you guys like to backseat learn, which is fine. So we have 1809 as the price for one person for one night. Okay. If anybody wants to take me on a cruise. Determine the VAT amount on the sale price of 10,000 if this amount is inclusive of VAT. This is a very, very tricky question. Very, very tricky. Okay. If we want to find the VAT, there is now a few ways we can do this. But one of the ways that you cannot do it, you cannot do it this way. Let me just go here. So let's take the 10,854. It's very important to note that when we go from inclusive, we're going now from inclusive to exclusive. It does not work the same way. Okay? It does not, I repeat, it does not work the same way. I had an argument with somebody. Somebody was arguing with me today in my, or yesterday in my class about, no, they believe it's 15 over 100. It's not 15 over 100 for inclusive to exclusive. BH, long time no see, man. I hope you're not dropped out yet in your course. Anyways, from inclusive to exclusive, it does not work the same way as from exclusive to inclusive to find the VAT. When we're finding the VAT from inclusive to exclusive, we cannot, look. 15 over 100, we cannot do that. That is for exclusive to inclusive. But for inclusive to exclusive, I can go on a long explanation about why. But when we want to find the VAT, it is 15. This is not to find the VAT. It is 15 over 115. Okay. The reason for, okay, let me tell you. The reason for this is because the VAT is already in the amount of 10,854. So when you try to find 15 over 100, you're not just finding the VAT of the original amount. You're then finding the VAT of the original amount and the little bit of VAT that's already included. Okay, so yeah, it sounds complicated, but from inclusive to exclusive, we use 15 over 100 and 15. We multiply that by 10,854. Okay, this is to find the VAT of inclusive to exclusive. So let's go to our calculator. So we have 15 divided by 115. I'm going to press equals first. Then I'm going to multiply it by 10,854. So we have an answer of 14,415.74. So it's 1415.74. That is the VAT that we have. Okay, you do get marks for, let's say you put 15 over 115. Okay, you get a mark at least for multiplying. You get 1 mark, even if you did the wrong thing. Sometimes the memo will say CA. This is for credit accuracy. If you do this 15 over 100, if it was wrong and you get it and you type it incorrectly, you could actually get 2 out of the 3 marks here, even if you did the wrong thing. But you did the wrong thing correctly, if that makes any sense. But sometimes the memo does not have CA. Sometimes it has A. And if it has A, it only wants the correct answer. And you can only get 1 out of the 3 marks for this. Okay, but again, for VAT inclusive to exclusive, it's 15 over 115 if you want to find the VAT. Okay, that's very important to note. Okay, no questions so far, no comments. Okay, right, so let's move on to the next question. Calculate the full price of the screws before applying the 35% discount. Okay, calculate the full price before applying the 35% discount. So we have this 10,854. Okay, this is already, the discount has already been applied. Okay, so we sort of have to work backwards here. Okay, so the 35% is the discount. Let's just go to our OneNote, or just delete some things. Give me a few seconds. Just need to delete. Okay. I just need to check something quickly. $10,854 times Okay, it's fine. So what's important to note, and I don't think I've ever done this with my class actually, is the discount before, or the price before, and they've given us the discount afterwards. Okay, so and the only way I can think about this is to create a mathematical formula. Okay, is to say the original price, which is X. You guys are not gonna like this. Multiplied by 35 over 100. No, you guys are not gonna like this method at all. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so it's important Let me just change my method. I'm not going to use that one. Firstly, we're going to take the 100 and we're going to minus it from the 35. That's step 1. Okay. So this is equal to 65%. We are basically working in reverse over here. Okay. So we're going to take the original amount. Okay. We're going to take the 100 divided by the 65 and then multiply it by our amount that we had, which is 10,854. Okay, that should give us an answer of 16,900. No, 16,300 and 98.46. So essentially what we did, this is the main step over here. We subtracted our sale price from 100. Why 100? Because the maximum percentage goes up to 100. So the reverse of that, of the 35, is 65. Okay, this is 100 here. You know what that means. So 100 divided by 65 and we multiply it by the 10,854. Okay, and we get 16,398. Sorry, 0.46. Yeah, sorry about that. So this is our answer for the full price before applying the 35% discount. Okay, this was a bit of a tricky one. And I don't think I practiced this one with my class before. I had my 5th semester exams from next month and I'm looking for learning advanced stats probability for, and all of a sudden my stream popped up. Yeah. But this is Mathslit grade 12. I don't think this will help you any much. Okay. Steve and Joy have invested 3,000 Rand into a savings account. Okay, we're gonna do compound. I hate doing compound. So much writing. Every year the price is gonna increase and then you need to use the new price. Okay. So Steve and Joy have invested 3,000 Rand into a savings account. Let's start over there. 3,000 Rand and just move this to the side. Or can it go to the side? No, we can't. So let's just write that down. We are investing 3,000 Rand into a savings account which receive a compound interest at a rate of 4.5%. So we have our interest. Interest is 4.5%. Okay. Per annum. Very important. The interest rate is compounded. Okay, it could have been simple, but it's not. It's compounded. Compounded meaning every year it increases. Okay. This percentage is per annum as well. Okay, it could have been compounded quarterly. It could have been compounded and semi-annually as well. Okay, or it could have been compounded monthly. But let's not get into that now. So that the money they received after 3 years, my goodness, was 3,423.50. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, we have to do, by the way, you may not, for those of you watching who are not in my class, you may not use in Mathslit the formula. You may not use the compound interest formula for this. So we have to do it year one, year after year after year. So we start with year one. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna survive. my what do you call this, all-nighter energy. Yeah, I remember studying this one time for maths in university, and I didn't sleep. That was the worst decision I ever made. I wrote the worst test of my life. I didn't sleep. I panicked because I was not understanding anything, and I didn't want to go sleep until I understood. And I drank like 10 energy sachets, those BioPlus things, and then I went to the exam tired and then failed. That completely rubbish. Yeah. Anyways, we have 3,000 rand. Okay. People are throwing stones on our roof. We have 3,000 rand. I'm just going to plus it, and then we need to work the percentage. So we're going to say 3,000 times 4.5 over 100. Okay, this over here is the interest that we are doing. Okay, just working a bit faster. So we have the 3,000 rand plus the interest rate over there. Just to work faster, we have the final answer 3,135. This is the money we have at the end of year 1. When we now work with year 2, okay, let me just maybe write it in a different color. Year 2. We're not going to use the original amount. We're not going to use the original amount. We're going to start with the amount that we ended with. The only reason we do that is because it's compounded. Okay. So we're going to take 3, 1, 3, 5 plus, we're going to make brackets. 3, we're not going to use the 3,000 again. We're using our new value, getting the interest from the new amount, 4.5 over 100. That's equal to 3,276. 0.075. Again, at this point, we do not round off. Even at this point, if you have something wrong, you keep going on because we do positive marking. Sorry, yeah. Okay, we do positive marking. Not sure how far I'll be able to get to this paper. Yes. So we are now going to year 3. Let's use blue. Year 3, underline. Okay, now we use our new amount. Again, 3,276, again, we don't round off all the way. Plus brackets, the interest again of the new amount. Okay. Times it with again 4.5% over 100. And then we get the final answer of 3,423.50. This is the amount we have at the end of year 3. Okay, this is the amount again that we have at the end of year 3. Yes, let me just check for any questions. Okay, I'm not sure how long I'll be able to stream for still. If there are any questions, let me know. But I might have to end stream soon. Yeah, I'm getting old. I am getting old, people. Okay. Let's go to the request. I'm gonna go to the request and then I'm gonna call it here. Okay, let's hope I'm not gonna miss any information. Mrs. Goba's father, Senzo, is 74 years old. By the way, I'm skipping a lot of questions. I'm gonna go to tax calculations, taxation. Mrs. Goba's father, Senzo, who is 74 years old. Let's highlight that. What happened to my highlighter? Here we are. Age is very important in the taxation questions because of the rebates. Earn a monthly taxable income of, look at this, they're being so naughty. Okay, of 46,031 for the 2022-2023 tax year. He does not have a medical aid scheme. Thank goodness for that. That's less calculation for us. Annex B shows table 5, the tax table for the 2024 tax year. The tax rebates and the medical credits. Oh, sorry. For the 2024-2025 tax year. Again, look. This is a different year. These are different years, so maybe there will be some question to try to confuse us. Always be on your guard with questions that you think are easy. They always try to manipulate you and gaslight you. Use table 5 attached to Annex B and the information above to answer the questions that follow. The income level at which one should start paying a certain amount of tax is called, let me see anyone in the comments if they know this one. Is the rebates, tax threshold, or annual tax? Is my comment section alive or is it dead? It's probably dead. 5.2.1. I wonder how delayed it is. Let's see if anybody got it. Okay, it's fine. No one? 10 seconds. Okay, it's fine. This answer is the tax threshold. So we have the tax threshold that tells us, okay, if somebody makes a certain amount of money, they're going to, yes, Shlubi Grootboom. It is B, tax threshold. If somebody makes a certain amount of money, they will pay tax. That is the tax threshold. Okay. So yes, the rebates, again, it's just a subtraction from your tax that you actually have to pay. And annual tax, that, see, doesn't even make any sense. I don't know. Anyways, determine the rebate or determine the tax rebate amount Senzo qualifies for. Again, remember the rebate. Why did you retract it? It's correct. The rebate is based on age. Okay, you have a primary, let me just highlight this whole thing. We have the primary rebate, secondary rebate, and the tertiary rebate. Okay, so there's the value of each rebate over here. Okay, and what's important, there's something very important to note over here. Senzo 74. Let's go down again. Yeah. I'm gonna fall asleep here at the PC. The rebate that this person qualifies for. If you fall in the secondary rebate, for example, Senzo, who is now 74 years of age, they're qualifying for the secondary rebate, but you must remember that they also qualify for the rebates also before that. So if it makes any sense, let me just check if I can't get this annexure on OneNote. Let me just go to a new section, honestly. See, my son wants to come sleep and I chased him out. I can hear him crying in the background inside. Okay, where is this thing now? Okay, that's the annexure. Okay. Let me just take the question. Now it wants to be big. Oh my days. My goodness. Anyways, it's fine. So, the tax rebate. Okay. The tax rebate that you qualify for. If you're now part of, for example, in fact, I'm going to do this here. If you form part of the secondary rebate, you get this 9,444 as part of your rebate, and also whatever came before that, which is the 17,235. You add all of that. That's what you qualify for over there. Okay. So we have an answer of 26,679. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end soon, guys. Okay. Right, I'll try to do this one. Then we can go. But then I'll have to go. Okay. Census states that he pays more than 100,000 rand tax per year, verified through calculations whether his claim is correct. Fortunately for us, we have been given his taxable income. Normally, we're going to have to find the taxable income and see if there is a donations, if there is UIF, but there is none of that, or if there is a pension fund. But we have the 46,031.50. This is per month. So we must multiply this by 12 and we get a final answer of 552,000. 552,378. This is the annual taxable. Let me just put this in black. This is the annual taxable income. I'm going to call it the ATI. This is very, very critical in our discovery. Please go through the definitions as well as you're doing the calculation. Which definitions? Not sure which definitions now. But yeah. So we have this as the annual taxable income. Once we find the annual taxable income, we rush to the tax bracket. Either if it's A, B, C, D, E, F, or G, depending on how much a person is making in 1 year. So 552,378, 552. We can see that it is above this. So it's not C, it's not A, B, or C. And it is below the 673. So we know that the tax, let me use something smaller. The tax bracket that Senzo is falling under is this tax bracket over here. Okay. What's important now, we can do this calculation in one go. I have not been teaching my class that, but we can do that calculation in one go. Okay. Okay, no, let's not do it in one go. It's fine. So the first thing we do, we take our 552, which is our annual taxable income, and we subtract it from the amount that says after above. So we subtract it from the 512 in our tax bracket, of course. 800. Okay. We get a particular answer there. 552378. 552378 minus 51. Oh my goodness, 512800. Is that it? 39,578. Once we get this amount from here, we then get to the percentage, which is 36%, as you can see there. So after subtracting, we find the percentage. We multiply it by 36 over 100. Okay. So it's 39578 times 36 divided by 100. That's equal to 14,248. 0.08, I think. I think it is 0.08. Yeah. Now, first is the subtraction and then finding the percentage, step 1, step 2. Then the last step we do is we add this first amount. So we're almost working backwards. We first subtracted this amount there, then we found the percentage of that answer. Now we're going to add the 121,475. So we're adding the 121,475. By the way, if you do initially choose the wrong tax bracket to work in, just continue working in correctly. So you can lose one. I think it's only 1 mark. Let me check. I think it's only 1 mark. Yeah, you only get 1 mark for choosing the correct bracket. So you only lose 1 mark if you don't. Right? Now I add that too. Okay. Get an answer there. Then I get 135,723.08. This is the tax that I have to pay. This amount here is the tax I have to pay per year. However, we have some reliefs, which is the medical tax credits and rebates. This is the tax payable. Okay, but the rebate, oh my goodness, the rebate we can subtract from that. You always either subtract your rebate or your medical credits. Your rebates are already yearly, so you do not multiply your rebates by 12. It's already what you call this, yearly. So we're going to subtract 26,000, which is our rebates there that we have, 600, and 79. Then we get a final answer of 109,044.08. This is the tax we have to pay yearly. Okay, I think I have to finish off now. Yeah, anyways. So this is the tax we have to pay yearly, but let's check if we are answered the question. Verify if the claim is correct. The claim is that they pay more than 100,000 tax. Therefore, the claim is correct. Okay, I'm so sorry. I have to go. Thank you for joining. All the best for tomorrow. All the best for tomorrow. Okay. And if no other questions, I don't think so. Yeah. Thank you for joining. I'll try to be available on WhatsApp to my students as you go through the night, just to check some work for you. Okay. Bye-bye.